The office party took place at an elegant rooftop venue, glowing with fairy lights, buzzing laughter, and the usual parade of overconfident executives flaunting their status in sleek suits. Jessica, my wife, had been oddly persistent that I come along. "It'll be fun. You'll finally meet my co-workers," she had said with a smile that felt a little too practiced. What she left out was who I'd really be meeting, someone whose name had shown up in her messages far too often. His name was Carter, and I was aware of him long before our first handshake. A slick project manager with a history of getting too close with colleagues, Carter had been an invisible wedge between Jessica and me for some time. When I raised concerns, Jessica brushed them off, saying I was overthinking things. But that evening, surrounded by clinking glasses and insincere compliments, my instincts confirmed what I had feared. Carter strutted into the room like it was his stage. Sure, he was magnetic, but it felt rehearsed, a performance for attention. When Jessica introduced us, his handshake lingered, his grin full of smug confidence, as if silently challenging me. "So, you're the lucky man," he said, winking at Jessica, who offered a stiff laugh. He kept the subtle jabs coming, teasing comments about how Jessica was the office favorite and how they practically spent more time together than she did at home. Each joke was a test, seeing how far he could go. I responded with a smile, unwilling to give him the reaction he wanted. But he kept pushing, emboldened by the alcohol and the crowd egging him on. Then came the moment that sealed it. In a circle of half-drunk partygoers, Carter lifted his glass and said, "Hey Mark, why don't you impress us? Jessica swears you're amazing, let's see what you've got." He said it with a mocking tone, clearly hoping to make me stumble. The group chuckled, sensing the friction but curious to watch it unfold. Jessica looked visibly uncomfortable, but stayed silent. That silence was louder than any insult. Carter assumed I'd crumble. But I didn't show up to be a spectator to his petty games. I took a calm sip from my drink, met his gaze and said, "Sure, Carter. How about a friendly challenge?" His ego perked up. "Name it," he said, arms open wide, already imagining his win. Smiled coolly. "Let's do a quick mental math test. Since you love talking about million-dollar budgets, let's see if your brain's as sharp as your suit." The room grew quiet with interest. Carter laughed, playing it off, but I saw the flicker of doubt behind his eyes. He wasn't a numbers guy. He was flash without foundation. I fired off quick math problems. Nothing too hard, but hard enough if you weren't focused. Carter stumbled. His answers were sloppy, delayed. And soon, the laughter turned from polite to pointed. The more he fumbled, the more the crowd enjoyed watching the ego crack. He tried to laugh it off, but his facade was falling apart. I never raised my voice or looked smug, just kept my tone light, my smile neutral. That made it worse for him. Watching him unravel under his own arrogance was poetic. Jessica stood frozen, torn between protecting her coworker and accepting the truth right in front of her. Carter tried to recover with a weak joke, but it fell flat. The room that once fed his ego now saw through the act. I delivered the final blow with a pat on his shoulder. "Carter, I'm sure you're great at your job. But maybe next time, stick to talking numbers instead of my wife." The line was soft-spoken, even friendly on the surface, but its message was cutting. The group fell quiet. Then, a few hesitant laughs broke the silence. Carter turned red, searching for words, but none came. Jessica's eyes widened. In that moment she understood. This wasn't just about ego. It was about respect, and the lack of it. The rest of the night passed in a blur. Carter kept his distance, sulking in a corner. Jessica lingered near me, clearly unsettled. During the drive home, she was uncharacteristically quiet. Then came the inevitable. "Did you really have to do that?" she asked softly. I looked at her calmly. "I didn't embarrass him, Jessica. He did that all by himself. I just gave him the stage." She didn't argue. That night wasn't only about putting Carter in his place. It became a reflection of our marriage. Jessica had let his behavior slide for far too long. Now she saw what happens when boundaries aren't set. In the weeks that followed, something changed. Jessica no longer spoke about Carter. Whether it was guilt, shame, or both, I wasn't sure. But I knew one thing. That night marked a shift. For Carter, who learned that confidence without depth eventually crumbles. And for Jessica, who finally saw that respect isn't shown in whispers later. It's enforced in the moment. And I made sure she got that message loud and clear.